Twisted and mangled, the 1032 from Swansea. It was entering West London en route to Paddington at lunchtime when somehow it found a heavy goods train in its path.
Shortly before 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning, an inferno broke out in a tower block in West London.
Anybody who you're speaking to in the building, they need to ring 999. There is a dedicated line for this incident, okay? Thank you.
We had a little boy who came downstairs with his mother who was in a very bad way, probably about 5 years old, and we asked, is there anyone else in that flat? And he's turned around, he's looked at me and says, my brother, but he's dead.
Sunny day at Hillsborough. The stage is set for a rerun of last year's classic. Liverpool in red.
Away to the left at the moment. There must be some 100 or 200 people on the pitch. An ambulance has just come into the stadium and it's making its way through a vast crowd of people away to the left. There would seem to be, from where I'm sitting here, dozens of people now lying on the ground and being attended to by police and St John's ambulance. Well, I think the biggest irony is that the sun is shining now and Hillsborough's quiet, and over there to the left, the green Yorkshire Hills. The gymnasium here at Hillsborough is being used as a mortuary for the dead. And at this moment, stewards, just as they did at the Heysel Stadium, have got cartons and little paper bags, and they're gathering up the personal belongings of the spectators, some of whom died, some of whom are now seriously injured in nearby hospitals.
Good evening from Weston-super-Mare, a town like many across the UK, inside the UK's highest level of weather alert.
But the very fact you can hardly see me lets you see why the authorities are still advising stay off the road.
It seems Storm Emma has now met the so-called beast from the east, bringing with it treacherous conditions.
A major cyber attack forcing hospitals across the UK to turn away patients. The British National Health Service saying computer systems were impacted, but there's no evidence that patient data was actually compromised.
An airliner with 118 passengers on board has crashed on the M1 motorway in Leicestershire. It came down near Kegworth, junction 24 of the motorway, just short of the East Midlands Airport.
A lot of noise, as if it was a backfire, flames coming out of the port engine, very much nose up and wing down on the port side, as if he was struggling for height.
So are the casualties not just on the aircraft itself, but maybe on the motorway too?
That's a distinct possibility because it's landed on the motorway, but we're not sure at this stage. I certainly can't confirm whether there are ground casualties or not.
Reports are just coming in of an explosion at Liverpool Street Station here in London.
There's just an explosion. Big white appeared, and then it was just smoke everywhere.
Sorry, we've got a major incident here. Sorry, can we move off the road?
We're now also hearing that there have been further incidents at Russell Square.
And that she's on the tube somewhere, and that she's at Russell Square, but no one's really telling us anything at the moment. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. Just the not knowing, the phones are down.
There are two trains stuck in tunnels at Edgware Road, and it's not known if they've collided or whether passengers remain on board. We're now hearing reports that a bus has been ripped apart in an explosion in central London.
One man has actually shown myself some footage that he recorded on his mobile phone of a bus exploding a few streets away, just near to Euston Station. People lying on the floor.
There is a suggestion that the explosion on the bus in Tavistock Square was caused by a suicide bomber. If they are confirmed, then that would be the first suicide bomber to have struck in the United Kingdom.
But what was striking was the calmness of the crowds on the day that London suffered.